Chosen one, I know you're tired. Not just the kind of tired that sleep can fix, but the kind that settles deep into your bones. The kind that comes from wrestling silently in the dark, questioning whether your efforts even matter. The kind of exhaustion that builds when you keep giving your all but feel like you're running in place, unseen and uncelebrated. But listen to me now, and listen well. You have not been overlooked. You have not been forgotten. You are not invisible in this hour. I see you, in every hidden act of obedience, in every sacrifice that no one applauded, in every night you cried out with no one there to answer but me. I saw you, and even though it felt like silence was your only reward, the heavens were recording every moment. Your struggle has not been in vain. You believed that you had to keep proving yourself. You thought if you just pushed harder, worked longer, or figured out the right formula, things would finally shift. But here is the truth that will disrupt every lie the enemy planted in your mind. The struggle was never your assignment. Faith was. You were not chosen to grind yourself into exhaustion. You were chosen to carry my presence. And from this moment forward, I am lifting the weight you were never meant to bear. Your identity is not tied to how hard you try. It's tied to the fact that I chose you before you knew your own name. You are mine, and I do not choose lightly. This season is not about you proving your strength. It's about me revealing mine. I am shifting you from striving to alignment, from questioning to knowing, from surviving to standing, as one who has been seen, selected, and sealed by heaven. And now, because you are listening, I will make this plain. I am the one who fights for you. I am the one who provides, protects, and paves the way. You do not need to strive to be sustained. You only need to stay close enough to hear when I speak. Let the panic go. Let the pressure drop. Let the false burdens fall off your back. You are not in a battle for validation. You are in a covenant of vision. And what I've shown you in your spirit will not die under the weight of discouragement. You've asked, when will it change? My answer is this: it already is. Because now you're not carrying your assignment alone. I am carrying you. Rest in that, chosen one, and hear me clearly. This is your moment of release. No more striving. No more silent suffering. No more bargaining with fear. You are seen, you are known, you are covered. And from this point on, you walk differently. Not because your circumstances are lighter, but because your spirit knows who walks with you. If you've received this word, I want you to do 3 things right now. Like this video. Subscribe and stay connected to what heaven is doing. Comment the number 55 below. That number marks divine alignment, covenant, and a new beginning. Because today your struggle ends, and your alignment begins. Let's continue. You've spent years mistaking silence for absence. But what if I told you the quiet wasn't abandonment? It was calibration. In the stillness, I was adjusting your vision. In the waiting, I was refining your ear. You were not forgotten, you were being formed. The reason you felt buried is because I was planting you, and what felt like delay was actually depth. You needed roots before you could carry the weight of what I'm about to grow through you. You are not behind. You are not late. You are precisely on schedule, because I do not operate on human clocks. I govern by eternal timing. And in my timing, your struggle ends not when circumstances align, but when your heart aligns with mine. You're not in a holding pattern. You're in divine protection. I had to hold some doors shut so you wouldn't walk through them too soon and forfeit what I was preparing. I had to keep you hidden, not because you weren't worthy, but because the platform without the preparation would have crushed you. This isn't punishment, it's preservation. I know how deeply you've longed for change, but true change doesn't begin in the world around you. It begins in how you see me. And I'm telling you now, you were never alone in the wilderness. I was there with you, guarding you from things you didn't even know to pray against. Now look again. What you called delay was actually deliverance. What you called silence was strategy. What you called struggle was the soil of your rising. You don't need to fix what I've already redeemed. Stop trying to go back and rewrite the past when I've already rewritten your future. Stop replaying the pain of what didn't happen when I'm ready to release what only I can do. This is your shift, not just in circumstances, but in spirit. You're not the same person who cried out 6 months ago. You're not the same soul who once begged me for scraps. You've matured, you've endured, and now you are ready to receive without fear, walk without hesitation, and trust without demanding signs. Let me be enough. Let my voice be your compass. Let my presence be your peace. There is nothing you have lost that I cannot restore, nothing you have broken that I cannot redeem. But the restoration will not come by your hands alone. It will come through surrender. You don't have to strive anymore. You don't have to explain, convince, or perform. You only need to believe that I saw you when no one else did, and I still do. And now, the shift begins. You've been conditioned to believe that breakthrough has to be dramatic, but my power isn't always loud. Sometimes it's the subtle shift, the moment your heart stops racing with fear and starts resting in me. That's when deliverance begins. You're waiting for the big moment, but I'm already moving in the background. I'm in the thoughts you've started to release. I'm in the peace that didn't make sense yesterday. I'm in the strength you didn't know you had this morning. You are not stagnant, you are shifting. You are stepping out of old cycles and into divine rhythm. This rhythm is not driven by urgency. It's led by intimacy. When you finally allow my pace to lead, you stop chasing what was never meant for you. You stop measuring your life by the world's milestones. You begin to understand that your journey is sacred, not rushed, not delayed, but handcrafted by me. I know the wounds you carry from seasons that seemed wasted, the betrayal, the abandonment, the years you spent trying to heal yourself with effort and logic. But those seasons were not wasted. They were woven into your becoming. I do not discard broken things, I transform them. And what the enemy called weakness, I'm now turning into wisdom. What was once your most painful memory is becoming your anointing. The very area where you suffered in silence will become the area where you speak with authority. Because I never waste pain. Chosen one, the time has come for you to stop waiting for the outside to change before you believe you've been set free. The proof of your freedom is not in your bank account, not in the words of others, not in the opportunities that come. The proof of your freedom is in how light you feel when you finally stop carrying what I never asked you to hold. You were not created to carry shame. You were not called to hold every burden. You were called to reflect me, to live in trust, to walk in grace, to move with purpose that doesn't collapse under pressure. The pressure is lifting because you've chosen to believe me in the quiet, because you're starting to let go of the timeline, because you're beginning to understand that what I have for you is not based on performance, but on covenant. Covenant means I'm committed to you, even when you feel unsure of me. Covenant means I'm not backing out when you stumble. Covenant means I won't let you miss what I wrote into your destiny. So rest your spirit. You don't need to keep proving you're worthy. I already called you mine. That's all the proof you need. The world taught you to survive by pretending nothing bothered you, to smile when you were breaking, to push through when your soul needed rest. But I am not the world. I did not create you to suppress what hurts. I created you to bring it to me, raw, unfiltered, honest. I can handle what others dismissed. I can heal what you buried. I can restore what you forgot you even lost. Your silence may have protected you for a season, but healing begins when you stop hiding. Bring me the part of you that still feels abandoned. Bring me the version of you that learned to expect disappointment. I want all of it, not just your praise, but your pain. Not just your strength, but your surrender. Because I am not afraid of your weakness, I am drawn to it. It's in the weakness that my strength is made perfect. It's in your honesty that my power is released. The breakthrough you seek will not come through more discipline. It will come through deeper dependence. You've been asking me to break the cycle, but the cycle only breaks when your inner life does. You have to stop performing for love, stop striving for peace, stop negotiating with fear as if it holds the pen to your future. Fear does not write your story. I do. And what I've written is not a tragedy. It's a testimony. You are being rewritten right now, not by circumstances but by revelation. Because revelation changes how you walk through what hasn't yet changed. Revelation gives you language for the storm and authority inside it. The same authority I gave my son, I have placed upon you. Not because you earned it, but because you are mine. Walk in that truth, speak from that truth, expect based on that truth. You've been preparing for war, but I've been preparing you for rest. You thought you needed more resilience, but what you truly needed was permission to receive. You have that permission now. You are not required to figure everything out. You are invited to walk with me, step by step, moment by moment, grace by grace. Let me be the strength you stopped asking for. Let me be the voice that silences your overthinking. Let me be the hand that steadies what you thought would fall apart. And as you do, you'll realize the struggle didn't cease because life got easier. It ceased because you finally allowed me to carry what was never yours. Chosen one, what you're stepping into now isn't relief. It's revelation. Because when I lift the weight, I also open your eyes. You don't just feel lighter and you see clearer. You don't just breathe easier, you move with intention. The fog that used to cloud your decisions is being burned away by my clarity. This is what it means to be seen. Not merely noticed, but understood. Not just comforted, but called. I see the things you've stopped speaking about. The desires you tucked away because they seemed too delayed to still be valid. But I am the one who planted them. And I don't plant what I don't intend to bring to life. Nothing is too late in my hands. You didn't miss your moment. You didn't mess up your mission. You're right where I need you. Not to start over in shame, but to stand up in trust. Trust that I don't need perfect circumstances to fulfill my promise. Trust that even your most painful lessons are being used as building blocks for what's next. Trust that what felt like rejection was my redirection, saving you from what you didn't even see coming. I am not redoing your story. I am redeeming it. This is why your rest matters. Because when you rest, you make room for me to move. When you surrender control, you position yourself to receive. And in that space, the space between fear and faith, I show up in ways that rewrite everything. What I'm building in your life is not fragile. It won't collapse under pressure. It won't vanish when things feel uncertain. Because it's not built on emotion. It's built on covenant. You are not here to hope for breakthrough. You are here to embody it. The way you speak will change. The way you carry yourself will shift. The way you approach this season will declare what you now know. You are seen, you are known. You are already moving in divine timing, not because everything is easy, but because I am present in it. And if I'm in it, nothing can be wasted. So breathe deeply. Let go of the panic that says you must do more to be worthy. You are already chosen, and nothing can change that. There is a reason the pressure intensified right before this moment. The enemy always overplays his hand when your next level is near, but what he didn't count on was your endurance. What he underestimated was your willingness to hold on even when the outcome wasn't clear. That's what makes you dangerous to darkness. Not perfection, but perseverance. You didn't quit. Even when doubt echoed louder than promises, you kept showing up. Even when prayers felt unanswered, you stayed in position. And that posture, that obedience in the unseen, has brought you to the edge of manifestation. Now hear me. What I am releasing in your life is not a partial blessing. It's a full release. Not a taste, but a table. Not a glimpse, but a gateway. You're not being teased with hope, and you're being trusted with abundance, but before you walk through the door, I need you to make a choice. Will you keep carrying the mindset of struggle? Or will you let me rewire you for trust? Struggle taught you survival, but survival is no longer your identity. You are not a wanderer anymore. You are a carrier of purpose, a vessel of covenant, a chosen one set apart not for hardship but for harvest. The harvest is here, not just around you, but within you. The ideas you've buried in fear are about to take root. The clarity you longed for is starting to pour in. The relationships that align with your calling are being drawn to your frequency, not because you chased them, but because you finally aligned with me. This is what happens when struggle ends. Peace begins to prophesy. Your very stillness becomes a statement. Your joy becomes evidence. Your life becomes proof that I do not lie. You are entering a realm where blessing is not fought for, it follows. Where favor is not manipulated, it's magnetized. Where doors don't open by force, but by faith. So release the last residue of shame. Let go of the habit of hustling for love. Let me show you what it means to be carried, not crushed, held, not hidden, advanced, not abandoned. Because I see you, fully, deeply, continually. and what I see, I always cover. The voice of condemnation has tried to define your narrative for too long. It whispered that you weren't enough. It echoed through disappointment, tried to attach shame to your reflection, made you feel like your delays were evidence of disqualification. But I never said any of that. I never told you that your value depended on your productivity. I never told you that one mistake could cancel a calling. I never called you a failure. I called you mine. And what I claim, I cleanse. What I speak over, I sanctify. You are not a broken project in need of fixing. You are a chosen vessel, already filled with what this season requires. You don't need to become someone else to be used. You need to believe that I already equipped you. The shame you carry, it's not yours anymore. The fear you inherited, it ends with you, because you are not here to echo the curses of your bloodline. You are here to reverse them. You are not a continuation of trauma. You are the interruption. And I've placed something in your spirit that cannot be passed down unless you stand in truth. This truth, I see you not as what you've done, but as what I destined. You are not what they labeled you. You are not the sum of what they misunderstood. You are not your weakest moment. You are not your biggest regret. You are the one I picked, on purpose, with purpose, for purpose. And that purpose doesn't expire when you feel overwhelmed. It doesn't vanish when you doubt yourself. It doesn't shrink in the face of delay. It is as secure now as it was the day I spoke it into you. So here's the shift. Stop asking, am I enough? Start declaring, He is with me. Because that's where the power is. Not in self-confidence, but in divine confidence. When you speak from knowing I'm with you, fear loses its grip. When you walk in rooms with that revelation, favor meets you before you say a word. When you make decisions from that truth, you no longer consult anxiety as your advisor. You move with clarity. You speak with weight. You live from fullness. The struggle ends when your identity becomes non-negotiable. And from this moment on, it is. You are seen. You are sealed. And you are sent. Not to prove anything, but to release everything I placed within you. I never asked you to carry the pressure of outcomes, only the posture of obedience. But somewhere along the way you began to confuse obedience with control. You thought if you did everything right, the results would fall in line. That if you prayed enough, fasted enough, served enough, you could force the breakthrough. But I'm not a formula, I'm a father. And as your father, I'm more interested in your heart than your performance. You cannot manipulate my timing, but you can trust it. The door that hasn't opened yet isn't closed because of failure. It's sealed by design. I withhold nothing good from those I've called, and you, chosen one, have been called since the beginning. You don't need to know what happens next. You only need to know that I do. Release the pressure to predict. Let go of the need to guarantee the outcome. Faith isn't proven in your ability to plan. It's proven in your willingness to move when the plan is still unclear. That's where you are now, in the space between what was and what will be. It's uncomfortable, but it's sacred. This in-between is not empty. It's where your spirit learns how to lean, how to listen, how to lead from a place of rest, not reaction. This is where the old armor falls off. The armor of self-protection, overthinking, people-pleasing. It won't survive the next level. I'm not promoting your mask, I'm promoting your authenticity, because what I bless, I also expose. And I won't allow you to walk into your next with a false version of yourself. You've hidden long enough. Hidden behind competence, hidden behind clarity, hidden behind the illusion that if you're always strong, you'll finally be safe. But I am your safety, and it's safe now to come out. Safe to be seen, safe to be led, safe to admit you don't know and trust that I do. The struggle ceases when control is no longer your God, and in that space, the one you're entering now, you'll find what striving could never offer. Peace without proof, security without certainty, and the unshakable joy of knowing that you're not leading the outcome, you're being led by me. There's a difference between being busy and being aligned. You've spent seasons wearing exhaustion like a badge, as if fatigue was proof that you were doing something right. But I never called you to burnout. I called you to fruitfulness, and fruit doesn't grow from striving, it grows from abiding. Abide in me, and you'll begin to see how much of what drained you was never required. How many doors you knocked on that I never sent you to. How many voices you tried to please that were never connected to your purpose. You are stepping out of that noise now, because you're finally ready to be led by peace instead of pressure. Peace doesn't mean everything is quiet. It means your spirit is no longer at war with my voice. It means you can rest, even when the situation looks unfinished. It means your confidence is no longer tied to visible progress, but to the invisible promise that I am still working. You will not miss what is yours. You will not fumble what I've already secured. But you must understand this. Alignment requires surrender. And surrender is not passive. It's powerful. It is a declaration that says, I trust you more than I trust my plan. It's the moment you stop reacting to fear and start responding to grace. You've asked me to accelerate the vision. But acceleration without alignment leads to chaos. I don't give speed to the unrooted. I give strength to the submitted. So this is your invitation, not to do more, but to become more. More available, more attuned, more grounded in the truth that my presence is your provision. When you are aligned, doors don't just open, they open to the right things. When you are aligned, favor doesn't just show up. It surrounds. When you are aligned, you stop competing for a seat because you finally realize the table was always yours. I'm not rushing you. I'm rooting you. Because where I'm taking you, stability will matter more than speed. And if you let me, truly let me, I will build something in you that cannot be shaken by delay, denial, or disappointment. The struggle to be seen ends here. You are seen, you are aligned, and nothing will be withheld from you. There's a reason you felt resistance every time you moved closer to peace. It wasn't because you were doing something wrong. It was because you were finally breaking free from the systems that once defined you. The systems of self-sufficiency, the patterns of perfectionism, the idols of approval. Peace is not passive, it's disruptive. It exposes the parts of you that found identity in chaos. It confronts the roles you played just to feel worthy. It tears down the scaffolding of false responsibility and demands that you trust what can't be seen. This is what you're learning now, how to live from peace, not panic. You're no longer reacting to life like it's an emergency. You're responding like someone who knows the emergency has already been resolved in the heavens. Because it has, everything that felt uncertain to you has already been settled by me. The answers you thought you had to chase have been waiting for your spirit to calm long enough to receive them. And now you're learning. Peace isn't something you find, it's something you allow. It begins when you stop rehearsing fear and start resting in promise. Let me speak where your thoughts once screamed. Let me guide where your anxiety once dictated. Let me be the shepherd, not just in crisis, but in every moment. You don't need to analyze every outcome. You don't need to anticipate every threat. You are safe now. Not because the world is predictable, but because I am present. And when I am present, peace is not the absence of war, it is the certainty of victory. ChatGPT said, "You've always carried a sense that you were different, even before you had language for it, even before you knew what called meant. You felt the weight of something deeper, something sacred, something that didn't match the noise around you. That wasn't imagination. That was my mark. I set you apart before you knew what it meant to be set apart. I placed something in you that didn't allow you to settle, even when settling would have been easier. I planted a hunger that made comfort feel like confinement. You tried to fit in, but I wouldn't let you, because you weren't created to blend in. You were created to be a catalyst. The rejection you faced wasn't about your worth. It was about your distinction. I needed to keep you from attaching too deeply to environments that couldn't contain your calling. So I protected you with discomfort. And now you're finally starting to see the pattern. Every closed door redirected you closer to clarity. Every season of isolation made space for my voice. Every misunderstood moment was a mirror, revealing the identity I've been trying to establish in you all along. You are not common. Your path is not conventional. And your purpose cannot be measured by worldly metrics. That's why the struggle was intense, because the call is undeniable. This next stretch of your journey won't require more striving. It will require more distinction. You won't have to shout to be heard. Your presence will speak. You won't have to prove yourself. Your fruit will testify. You won't have to chase influence. Influence will find you because you've chosen alignment over applause. So walk in your difference. Honor the quiet strength that got you here. And know this, I haven't just called you, I've confirmed you. This is the hour where your authority becomes visible. Not because you demanded recognition, but because you passed every test in the shadows. The authority I've given you wasn't earned by applause, it was forged in silence. In the moments where you could have compromised, but didn't. In the decisions no one saw, but I recorded. That's where I established you. And now that establishment will speak louder than any title ever could. You are stepping into rooms you didn't campaign to enter. Favor will announce you. Not because you're better, but because you're available. Not because you're flawless, but because you're faithful. This is how I elevate. I lift those who let me lead. And you, chosen one, have allowed me to lead, even when the path was unclear. Even when I didn't explain. Even when I asked for a yes before I showed you the how. That yes was your seed. Now comes the harvest. A harvest of open doors that make no logical sense. A harvest of relationships that mirror your maturity. A harvest of peace that doesn't fluctuate with external circumstances. You're not in the same place anymore, and it's time your mindset catches up. You are no longer the one hoping to be chosen. You are the one I already chose. So speak like you've been chosen. Pray like you've been placed. Move like you've been mantled. You carry more than you think. And from this point forward, your presence will confirm what your past tried to deny. You are not just walking in purpose, you are walking in power. Now comes the part you didn't see coming. The release. The release of burdens you thought you had to carry forever. The release of timelines you tried to control. The release of roles you performed just to survive. I'm not asking you to be strong right now, I'm asking you to be surrendered. Because when you release, I move. When you let go of your grip on outcomes, I reveal options you didn't know existed. When you stop trying to hold everything together, I show you that I've been holding you all along. Release doesn't mean loss, it means alignment. It means you finally trust that nothing I remove was ever meant to remain, that everything you lay down in my name will be returned in a form you never imagined, purified, multiplied, glorified. I'm not just taking things from you. I'm freeing your hands to receive. You thought letting go would feel like weakness, but in my presence it feels like peace. You thought surrender would feel like defeat, but now you see, it's the beginning of divine flow. This is how rivers work. They don't strive to move. They follow the path carved out for them. And as you release the need to control, you become like that river, carried, not coerced. From this day forward, you'll stop calling tightness strength. You'll stop confusing anxiety with discernment. You'll stop worshipping hustle and start honoring rhythm, my order, my way. Because my way leads to rest, not restriction. So breathe, let go. Let me be your provider. Let me be your defender. Let me be enough. You've released your fight, and now I'll release your flow. And now, chosen one, step into the place you've been prepared for. Not with hesitation, but with clarity. Not with fear, but with assurance. You are not entering this moment by accident. You were always meant to arrive here. This is not the end of a long struggle. It is the beginning of divine ease. Because when I open a door, no man can shut it. You've waited, not just in time, but in posture. You didn't run ahead, you didn't force your way through, you stayed planted, you stayed faithful. And now you'll see what I do for those who endure in obedience. You're not just stepping into blessing, you're stepping into identity. The version of you that used to chase is now the version that carries peace, carries favor, carries evidence. Because now you understand, the real shift is not around you, it's within you. The noise no longer dictates your moves. The doubt no longer clouds your view. You have discernment now, not just for people, but for timing. You don't need validation to confirm what I've already spoken. You know who you are. You're not what they feared. You're not what they assumed. You're not the former version who used to question their worth with every delay. You are my chosen one, marked, sent, empowered. Your steps are not random. Your words carry weight. Your vision is not fantasy. It's a blueprint I've embedded into your spirit. And this is your permission to walk boldly, not because you've arrived, but because I've revealed. Revealed that what you needed was never external. It was me. And I've been here all along. waiting, watching, covering, guiding. Now go. Not with striving, not with stress, but with stillness. Stillness that knows the struggle is over. Stillness that knows the story is unfolding. Stillness that knows you are seen and you are home.